great pleasure for me and the members of Watabaruku to see every one of you this amazing Friday evening. Welcome to Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, and the theme for tonight's meeting is going to be the value of 360-degree leadership. And so join us for an inspiring meeting where we will educate and entertain you, where you will learn how to lead in a way that positively impacts your family, organization, communities, and Toastmasters Club. Toastmasters International, just to remind us exactly what we're doing here this evening, is an non-profit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership through a worldwide network of clubs. And all Toastmasters Club, the mission of all Toastmasters Club in the world is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Here at Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, we specifically try to help Toastmasters become advanced speakers through in-depth education and in-depth evaluations and targeted education sessions. Every meeting is designed to challenge our skills, stretch our abilities, and equip us to deliver speeches with greater impact and confidence. At this point in time, I would like to invite our acting Sergeant at Arms and Club Vice President Education to please tell us the meeting rules. And as you conclude the introduction for the Sergeant at Arms, please pick an area of your life and tell us what legacy you would like to leave. Over to you, DTM Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. President, and welcome all to this online experience. You are encouraged to follow these guidelines. First of all is to take note of the online meeting statement that by attending this remote club meeting, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International, as well as the unassociated remote hosting service, which is Zoom. Some of your personal information, such as name, image, and any shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. That said, please abide by these renaming conventions that will be posted in the chat. If you are a role taker, start with the hashtag followed by the acronym and your name. For those of us who are visiting Toastmasters and do not have roles in this meeting, please start with your name followed by your club. For non-Toastmasters, those who are new to Toastmasters, start with guest followed by your name. Please remember to keep your video on throughout the meeting if possible. It encourages that positive environment for us to thrive in public speaking. It galvanizes us actually to thrive in public speaking. Mute your microphone unless it is your turn to speak. Use the Zoom chat and reaction buttons to engage. Give feedback and vote when the polls are launched. And last and not least, enjoy, visit again, and become a member. My legacy, at least in Toastmasters, I feel or I'd like to be in evaluations to inspire people to evaluate better, more clearer, and more confident. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. You through your win in the evaluation contest, you did demonstrate that you're making progress in that area and leaving a legacy. Thank you so much, our VPE, Kevin Rubia. And at this point, I would also like to introduce the other members of our executive committee. Our vice president membership is Gilbert Rutebemberwa. Gilbert, please introduce yourself And please tell us, pick an area of your life and tell us what legacy you would like to leave in it.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mr. President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I would like to leave a legacy where the club is growing from strength to strength. I submit.
Thank you so much, our VPM. Next, we have our Vice President, Public Relations, Maki Waithiru, and our Secretary Treasurer, Serah Wanjiku. Serah Wanjiku, please introduce yourself and answer that question.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you, Mr. President, for that question. I will choose parenting as my area of life in legacy. In terms of the legacy I'd like to leave, I feel music is one of the best workouts. Like, it rejuvenates the brain, it gives us good mood, it heals us. So I want to leave a legacy where my children love music as much as I do. And I think I'm doing quite a good job. They love the oldies. They know who Michael Jackson is. It's not about the movie, and they love the old music. They know who ABBA is. So yes, that's the legacy I look forward to. Thank you.
Really, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Serah Wanjiku. And finally, our Sergeant at Arms, Tigist Hailu, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I think the best legacy one can leave behind is to live well themselves, because people look at how we live rather than what we say, I believe. So living my life to the best of my ability, wherever I am, whatever responsibilities that I have, is the legacy I'd like to live. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tigist. My name is Robert Karanja. I'm the club president, and the legacy I would like to leave specifically in my family is that I was a good brother to my smaller brother and my sister. And I would like to introduce, and our immediate past president is Kevin Kimbio. I would like to introduce any visiting Toastmasters leaders, and currently I think we have two incoming area directors, Leah Minja and Leila Abdi. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and for taking up roles at Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. And I would like to invite anybody who's joining us for the first time, and even if it's not your first time, if you're just coming to visit Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, please tell us where you're joining us from, and if possible, answer that question: what kind of legacy you would like to leave? Anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Christina Tiena. Unfortunately, I can't have my video at the moment. It's my first time visiting the Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. I've always seen it as advanced, so I thought even visiting and seeing it should be advanced. I'm literally a baby Toastmaster. I'm less than some 6 months years old. I'm a member of Kericho Gold Toastmasters, but currently I'm in Nairobi. So I just decided to peek in and see what do these advanced people do. And I'm hoping to learn a lot from you people. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Oh,
Christine.
sorry. There was a question I was supposed to answer.
Yes, legacy.
The kind of legacy I'd like to leave behind is where I've made an impact on at least one person.
Right.
That they get to understand that when you become an adult, the decisions of your life are solely yours. You can't keep on blaming your past or your failures on your caretakers and all the people who are taking care of you. Because as long as you're 18, the life is yours. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine, for joining us from Kericho Gold Toastmasters Club. Absolutely, Watabaruku is open to anyone to join us as a guest, and we are very, very glad to have you this evening. Anybody else who would like to introduce themselves before we proceed? Going once. Yes, Maureen.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Kezabu Maureen from Bugolobi Toastmasters Club in Uganda. It's my first time to join the meeting. I'm elated and anxious and curious to learn from the team tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maureen, for joining us from Bugolobi Toastmasters. This evening, it's a great pleasure for us to have you here with us. And thank you, and also welcome to all the other guests. I could see in the chat Rose and Chelingat are also joining us for the first time. Hope you have an amazing time as the meeting progresses. At this point, I would like to handle a bit of club business. The minutes of the previous meeting were shared in the Toastmasters, Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club group members. Are there any amendments that you would like to suggest to those minutes? There being no amendments and with no objections, I would like to declare that those minutes have been adopted as they were shared. I would like to invite all of us to please join us on the 19th of June for our regular meeting and also for the installation of our offices for the Toastmasters year 2026-2027. We are so excited for that. And also, we'd like to welcome officially to our club our newest member, Tracy Mamo, who joined us. Thank you so much, Tracy, for becoming a member of our Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. I hope you experience tremendous growth over the next 1 year as you are part of us. And we also introduced Antony Oduor, our other new member. And at this point in time, I would like to induct him to Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. Really briefly, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, please spotlight me and Antony as I'm doing this. Fellow Toastmasters, it is my privilege to welcome Antony. Please show us your face. Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, it is my privilege to welcome and induct our newest member, Antony Oduor, into the Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. Antony, by joining Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, you're becoming part of a worldwide organization dedicated to helping people develop communication and leadership skills in a supportive environment. Membership brings both opportunities and responsibilities. We ask that you commit to your personal growth, participate actively in club activities, support fellow members, and contribute to the positive spirit of our club. Do you pledge to attend meetings regularly, prepare for your assignments, participate actively, support your fellow members, and strive for continuous improvement? Please affirm your commitment by responding with "I do." You may unmute yourself.
I do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Antony Oduor. Fellow club members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, do you pledge to support our new member with encouragement, constructive feedback, friendship, and opportunities for growth? Fellow members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, please unmute yourself and respond with "We do."
We do.
We
We
do.
do.
We do.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Antony Oduor. On behalf of the members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, I officially welcome you as a member of our club. We look forward to supporting you on your journey of growth and achievement. Please join me in welcoming our newest member. Please put your hands together. Use the emojis to celebrate Antony. Welcome so much, Antony. Thank you, Mr. Sergeant
Thank you
at
very
Arms.
much.
Please keep your videos on. Please keep your videos on, especially during the prepared speeches, to offer visual, positive, and supportive feedback to our members as they deliver their speeches. Tonight's meeting will be guided by our Toastmaster of the Day, who will lead us through prepared speeches, impromptu speaking, and evaluations, all tied together by our theme, the value of 360 degrees leadership. This evening, we have the tremendous honor of having our Toastmaster of the Day as a DTM, Nellie Ayodo. Please put your hands together. Please use the emojis to bring her onto stage. Welcome, DTM Nellie Ayodo, to lead us through the rest of our meeting.
Thank you very much, President DTM Robert Karanja. I am elated to be at Watabaruku Toastmasters. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening. 360 leadership refers to leadership being exercised in every direction, not only from the top to bottom. I have borrowed this idea from John Maxwell's book, The 360 Leader, which is a recommended book for Toastmasters. It has 10 facets and has 3 directions. It's all about leadership going full circle. The first one is leadership leading up by influencing the ExCo or the district leadership constructively, or by solutions, not only problems. Communicating our aspirations clearly and supporting clubs or district goals and earning trust through reliability. The second one is leading across, working effectively with colleagues and the various committees at club or district level, or by collaborating effectively with members and dealing collectively in conflict resolution, sharing our credits for our gains, such as getting the various distinctions or accolades in Toastmasters' journey. This helps us build strong relationships. The third one is leading down by helping those we mentor grow, for example, in the new members. This is when we're coaching others in the clubs to help them raise their members to a bare minimum or more. When we share responsibilities, for example, when we're called upon to host contests or open house, by delegating to other members so that we are working in teams. In the process, we're developing other members' strengths, encouragement, and accountability. Therefore, leadership is a choice we make, not a place we sit. Our meeting will be divided into 3 segments. The first segment, members will deliver prepared speeches and receive feedback through an audience poll. The second segment, Toastmasters and guests get a chance to practice impromptu speaking. And the third segment, we listen to a triple-tiered evaluation and reports from role takers who I will introduce shortly. Our timer today is Leila Abdi. And Leila, when I asked her about what she thinks 360 leadership is, she said, 360 leadership means an all-round approach to leadership. In her opinion, this is important because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. And she has not interacted with the resource. Leila, please tell us what your role is all about.
Thank you, CMOD Nellie, for that kind introduction. My role today is to help us keep time using virtual backgrounds. I will maintain a blue background with the word timer and change green, yellow, and red, each displaying the word of the day, which is galvanize. The prepared speeches and general evaluator reports are 5 to 7 minutes. I will show the green. Okay, I will show the green. I'm going to give you a short example of that. So I will show the green at the 5-minute mark. All right, 1 second. And then this is the green. Yes. At the, so that's the green card. I will show it at the 5-minute mark. That's for speeches. And yellow at 6, red at 7. Table topics and language evaluations are 1 to 2 minutes. I will show the green card at 1 minute, yellow at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. Content and delivery and super grammarian reports are 2 to 3 minutes. I'll show the green card at 2 minutes, yellow to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, red at 3 minutes. All speakers will appear in the polls. Only those within the qualifying time are eligible for awards. Therefore, we would galvanize you to aim to reach green and conclude with 30 seconds of red. A 30-second grace period applies before going under or over time, except for table topics where the minimum is 1 minute. I will keep my virtual hand raised for visibility, post each speaker's time in the Zoom chat, and deliver my report when called upon. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Leila. Our next role taker is the super grammarian, who is Fatma Amiyo. Her understanding of 360 leadership is, it is rooted in genuine influence and connection. Within Toastmasters, it is important because we are all volunteers. We're a volunteer organization and rely on influence to achieve our goals. Fatma, please tell us about your role.
Thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the day. As super grammarian, I will be keen to listen to every speaker. Allow me to stop sharing my screen. I will be listening to everyone who speaks, noting excellent and improper use of language, overused words, or filler sounds, use of scratches, and usage of the word of the day. The word of the day is galvanize. The pronunciation is galvanize. It is a verb. They are derivatives such as galvanization, galvanizer. The synonyms are stimulate, encourage, inspire, prompt. The meaning is to make someone take action by shocking, exciting, or strongly motivating them. Examples: ethical leadership has the power to galvanize long-term transformation. Effective communication in Toastmasters should galvanize people to think and act differently. Great leaders galvanize action through influence rather than position. I encourage each one of us to use the word of the day. Kindly remember, whenever someone mentions the word of the day or its derivative, please acknowledge them by snapping your fingers or using the hand clap emoji. At the end, I will present brief language evaluations for each speaker and give my report when called upon. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Fatma. The next role taker is our table topics master, Antony Oduor. He says the 360 leadership, it means being well-rounded leader who leads by example through strong self-awareness. It involves going above and beyond what is strictly required. It is important in Toastmasters because it's not measured by the numbers of meetings we attend, but by our readiness to serve when called upon. Toastmaster Antony, please tell us about the table topics session.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. My role is to facilitate table topics It's an opportunity for Toastmasters and guests to practice listening, critical thinking, and impromptu speaking. If you are interested in taking part, please notify me via private message in the Zoom chat. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Antony. Our next role taker is Toastmaster Jacinta Muriithi. She is the general evaluator for today. She says 360-degree leadership means leading in every direction, not necessarily reserved for those who are seniors than us or holding top positions. Simply put, anyone can be a leader in Toastmasters. This means that whether you are a new or seasoned member, you have the ability to lead. This can be either through taking up a leadership position, volunteering in organizing activities, or sharing your feedback on leadership matters. She has not encountered this resource in Toastmasters. Our Toastmaster Jacinta Muriithi, please tell us about the General Evaluator role.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm delighted to be your General Evaluator this evening, and my role is to provide an insightful and balanced overview of the meeting, celebrating excellence and identifying opportunities for refinement. Therefore, I will reinforce the Watabaruku legacy of advanced communication and leadership. Later on during the meeting, I will deliver my report when called upon. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jacinta. 360 leaders have influence. They inspire and guide people at every level, even without a top title. They are team players. They promote cooperation instead of competition within Toastmasters. They are responsible. They take initiative and ownership of tasks and outcomes. They have integrity. They act honestly and consistently, earning trust from others. They're good communicators. They listen well, share ideas clearly, and resolve conflict effectively. Our first speaker is Serah Wanjiku. When asked about 360-degree leadership, she says, it means that the whole team is involved in feedback, and feedback is key, and every effort is appreciated. It is important for Toastmasters to be motivators to encourage volunteers. She has rarely interacted with this resource. She will be evaluated by Tigist Hailu, who says that 360-degree leadership means leading effectively in all directions, upwards, influencing leaders, sideways, collaborating with peers, and downwards, supporting and guiding team members, regardless of our formal position. In Toastmasters International today, it is important because leadership is often shared and volunteer-based. Members succeed by influencing and mentoring and collaborating with others. The delivery evaluator is Leah Minja. She says that 360 leadership is leading in every direction, up to superiors, across to peers, and down, without relying on formal authority. So please help us tell us about the objectives of Serah Wanjiku's project.
Okay, thank you, Madam Temodi. Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. This evening, I have the distinct privilege of being the content evaluator for our first speaker, Serah Wanjiku. Serah will be attempting her first project of level 5 from the innovative planning pathway. And the purpose of the project is for the member to apply her leadership, his or her leadership in planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement a plan with the help of her team. This being her first project of this level, in her speech this evening, TM Serah will be introducing her plan and vision. Serah will take 5 to 7 minutes, and the title of her speech is Wisdom for Mothers. Please help me welcome Serah Wanjiku, Wisdom for Mothers. Wisdom for Mothers, Serah Wanjiku.
4 years ago, I graduated from this beautiful event and program organized by my church. It was beautiful, to say the least. Matching dresses, happy women here and there. Oh, you should have seen me that day. Going forward, this particular event had open days to introduce and bring in new cohorts for the same program. The program is Wisdom for Mothers, a book that helps a woman understand herself, know her relationship with God, know her relationship with her husband if she's married, know her relationship with herself, her children, her work or ministry into the world. In all those open days, I chose to miss. But a couple of months ago, I decided, why don't I just be a supportive alumni of this program and attend? I sat at the front, being the leader that I am. And as the function went by, a question popped into my mind. And being a person who knows that closed mouths don't get fed, I popped my hand up, and I asked, what if a woman feels she would like to do this book again? And I remember the head facilitator at the time, also the secretary, answered by telling me, you will need to experience this book in a different way. By that I mean, facilitate ladies. This way, you will have carried forward the kindness that was handed to you when someone took their time to walk with you for 15 months. This question galvanized me into thinking about it and taking up the challenge. I had many questions after this function, and I followed her to ask. Now, the good thing about it is I felt this should be easy. I have led in a volunteer organization like Toastmasters. This will be a walk in the park. These fake emotions that I would do this later made me crumble down when I went to my house and wondered, have I bitten too much than I can swallow? However, the church was kind enough to follow up and guide me on the way forward. Interestingly, a guidance committee was already in place for every facilitator that was signing up. And you had around a whole month to meet up with them, share your vision, them to share their standard operating procedures, which will then align with your vision, the vision of the church, and would be able to accommodate the whole group. I was elated to see familiar faces, like my mentor, AKA my mom. I also found the chair lady of the women's ministry was in the committee, and another senior facilitator. I loved how they kindly corrected me, how they guided me into the right way, and how they listened to my vision on how I was going to bring in 11 women, one book, a million possibilities, and bring out the sisterhood, bring out a life group out of all these women, bring in confidence, because when you know yourself as a woman, your confidence goes up, and to show that this book had actually tangibly touched the lives of these women. It looked almost impossible. But as leaders, our visions, when we envision them, we don't concentrate on what would actually go wrong. We just see the millions of possibility of it working. And I concentrated on that, the silver lining of all this. It became real when I had to sign a code of conduct on how I was expected to behave during this time that I was facilitating. I have never considered myself as anybody's role model. I had to grow up, and I had to grow up fast. My name was on it. So Toastmasters and guests, by the time we met the 5th time with my guidance committee, I felt half-baked. But again, showing up is 90% of doing the task. And showing up, I did. I was encouraged, and I looked forward to meeting the 11 ladies who had signed up for the Wednesday class at 9 a.m. For you to know what happened after this, you will have to stay tuned to my next speech, where I will share photos, I will share the drama, a bit of tears here and there, and the Serah Wanjiku, who learned from a book from the other side. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Serah. A round of applause for Serah. You are practicing 360 degrees by learning about a book that has transformed women and using your guidance committee to encourage other women to join. Well done, Serah Wanjiku. The audience, can we have a feedback, please, for Serah's speech? It's reflecting on our screens. Our next speaker is Gilbert Rutebemberwa. When I asked him about 360-degree leadership, he says it means being able to influence our supervisors, peers, and subordinates to agree with our point of view. It is important as leaders and influence is the key. If people cannot buy our ideas, they're not our followers. And Gilbert will be evaluated by DTM Mineh Maina. When I asked her about 360 degrees, she said, leading effectively in all directions, upwards, downwards, collaborating with our peers, and supporting and guiding team members, regardless of our formal position. The delivery will be done by our President DTM Robert Karanja, and the language will be done by Fatma Amiyo. When I asked Fatma about 360 degrees, she said, it's rooted in genuine influence and connection. Within Toastmasters, it is important because we are a volunteer organization and rely on influence to achieve our goals. And she has interacted with this resource. DTM Mineh, please help us introduce Gilbert Rutebemberwa.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I am galvanized to introduce Gilbert Rutebemberwa, who is on Innovative Planning Path, Level 5, Project 1, which is an elective, and he is doing his second speech. This is a high-performance leadership. The purpose of this project is for Gilbert to apply his leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. For the second speech, he will share some aspect of his or her experience for completing the project. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the speech title is Mission Accomplished. Mission Accomplished, Gilbert Rutebemberwa. Gilbert Rutebemberwa, Mission Accomplished.
How many of you have ever organized an event and spent sleepless nights wondering whether things will go according to plan? By use of the emoji, you could let me know if you have been in that state. For I have. Thank you. No matter how much preparation you put in, questions will keep lingering in your mind. What if something goes wrong? What if something doesn't fall in place? Nonetheless, such plans are eventually delivered and time comes to tell. Luckily, I'm here to report to you my mission accomplished. Because when I was attending a meeting at Bugorobi Toastmasters Club way back in April, I informed the club that I was organizing a meeting together with my executive of Fathers Union at All Saints Cathedral Nakasero in Kampala. We were together as a team planning to hold an annual general meeting for Fathers Union that was due to take place on 3rd May. So at that meeting, I introduced the plan. I introduced my committee that I was going to work with. We introduced the roadmap, and what was left now was for us to execute this plan that I'm here to tell you about. Like I said, no matter how much preparation you put in, things may not go according to plan, just like you will understand. Now, this committee was set up, which I was heading. We had activities assigned to each and every individual. We had meetings that were happening every week ahead of this meeting. We contacted all our suppliers. We booked the venue and everything that we needed to use for this meeting. So everything seemed to be going according to plan. So we thought. But as fate would have it, on the D-Day, not everything went according to plan. This was a Sunday when this annual general meeting was supposed to take place. So our plan was that in the morning at 10 o'clock, we would attend the service, the church service. At midday, when the service is over, we would use 30 minutes to transition from the service into the annual general meeting venue, which was on the same campus. Then between 1:30 midday up to 1:30, we would have our lunch as we wait for the latecomers to join. And then at exactly 1:30, we would start our annual general meeting for the actual business of the day. And as fate would have it, a few things, like I mentioned, didn't go according to plan. Yet I had hoped that with this training that I had obtained from Toastmasters, from the materials of this project, I would be able to meticulously deliver this project. I had galvanized my team and everything was supposed to work according to plan. The first hiccup was the venue. As soon as we moved from church to the venue place, we found another team had found our venue setup and had started their own meeting in our venue. And this was a high-level meeting that we could not even interrupt. Can you imagine? We did not have enough time to take on this team, to go into this and that. We immediately looked for plan B and switched to another venue that was available, again within the church premises. Quickly set up the place, set up the chairs, tables, everything, so that we could be able to start in time. And indeed, we were able to get the second venue in place in good time. The second eventuality that happened was that our vendor for the food did not arrive on time. Yet we had hoped that we would have our lunch and then start our meeting after. Again, with the training that we had to quickly choose what to do, to wait or to start the meeting. So we started the meeting while we wait for the vendor, and halfway in the meeting is when we were able to accommodate our meals. Despite those two mishaps, the meeting went on successfully. We were able to deliver the meeting and the business took place according to the deliverables that we had. So it was, to me, a mission accomplished. What lessons did I learn from all this? The first lesson was to inspect what to expect. If I had personally inspected the venue that I had assigned someone to make sure that it is secured and under our law, maybe we wouldn't have lost it. So inspect what you expect. Number two, plan for the best, but expect the worst. Anything could go wrong. Even the plans that are meticulously calculated could go wrong at any time. So it is important to expect the worst and prepare for it. And the third thing that I learned from this was that always have plan B. For the critical items, have plan B. If we didn't have plan B for the venue, we were not going to have that meeting. In conclusion, we were able to hold this meeting, the business went on, and the mission was accomplished. But I used this experience to learn, going forward, what should I expect? How should I handle this? And I am grateful to Toastmasters for the skills that I have been able to apply outside Toastmasters. Back to Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gilbert. Please, a round of applause for him. Let's encourage him. Thank you very much for sharing about leading in crisis, how you managed to overcome them. You learned to inspect the property or the venue before before the event, to plan and expect the best, and always have a plan B. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gilbert. Please let us vote for the better speaker. And after we do that, we can have the audience feedback form. "360 leaders are adaptable. They work well with different personalities, situations, and challenges. They offer service. They focus on helping others succeed. They do not only focus on their own personal growth. They share their vision. They understand that organizational goals and help others move towards them. They believe in empowerment by encouraging and developing the abilities of their team members. They always foster a positive attitude. At this juncture, I will galvanize our table topics master to please take up the session, take up the virtual stage.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Welcome to the table topic session. Today's theme is the value of 360-degree leaders. A 360 leader creates a positive influence in every direction within family, organizations, communities, and Toastmaster clubs. Leadership is not about position, it's about influence and impact. The purpose of table topics is to help us develop our impromptu speaking skills by thinking on our feet, organizing our thoughts, and expressing our idea clearly and confidently. As we participate tonight, we are encouraged to use the word of the day, galvanized, which means to inspire or to motivate people to take action. I have prepared 10 questions for this session. To make the selection fair and random, when I call your name, I will ask you to choose a number between 1 and 10, and I'll give you the corresponding question. I invite our speakers to share their thoughts for 1 to 2 minutes, and to help our guests understand how table topic works, I will begin with an experienced Toastmaster. June Keriri, are you there?
Yes, I am here, and I have no idea how you chose me. Go ahead.
Okay, choose between 1 to 10.
7.
May choose a number.
I will choose
Then I will give
7.
you the corresponding question.
I
7.
will choose 7, yes.
Great. Okay. Describe a time when someone believed in you and helped you succeed. Describe a time when someone believed in you and helped you succeed.
The time I believed that someone believed in me was when I joined Toastmasters. I heard about Toastmasters when my son was being born. Right now, he'll be 25 years old this year. And at that time, I think I was so busy, I could not join Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters when all my children now left the house. My daughters were going to college. My son was grown up. And the people who believed in me, who are in this chat right now, Ali Makori, Nellie, the Toastmaster of the day today, was in school with me. She was my elder in school. And people in the Toastmaster circle have believed in me. They are now calling me super admin. There are some people I've never met or never even had meetings with, but they've always known that once you call up on June will say yes. And then there are some Toastmasters who told me, June, you need to relax, say no. But it's that one of where that Ali Makori, Nellie, Kevin, and everybody have always believed in me. Fatma is here. Leila has become an area director she's an incoming area director, and she just met me during the last event we had, and I helped her be an area director. So it's that one of where I think I'm very blessed that everybody believes in me. And I know Gilbert, we've talked and we've worked together. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, June, for sharing the people who believed in you. To my second question, I will call another Toastmaster, Baron. Are you there, Baron? Okay, let me do Brenda Kakanyi. Toastmaster Brenda Kakanyi. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Choose a number between 1 to 10. Then I will read you the corresponding table topic question.
8.
8. How can a leader encourage people to work together? How can a leader encourage people to work together?
How can a leader encourage people to work together? A good leader needs a team. How do you get that team to work together? In my opinion, a good leader should have a vision and one that they can articulate to their team. When your team buys into your vision, then they are more likely to work towards that goal, to work towards achieving that vision. First thing, have a vision. And then next, as a leader, do you work with your team? Your team should know you as one who is empathetic, one that is willing to listen to feedback, one that is willing to get down into the mud and work with them. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to get people to work with you and to work well together to achieve a shared goal. Toastmaster and guest, what are you doing to ensure that those you work with, those you work for, are working well and working well together? Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing that leaders should have vision. And to our next table topic question, Chelengat Maureen, are you there? Chelengat Maureen? Okay. Eric Karaoke. Eric Karaoke. Okay, we still have...
I'm here. Can you hear me clearly?
Thank you. We can
Hello?
hear you clearly.
Hello? It has to be. Now,
Okay, you're breaking, Eric. Are you able to hear me clearly?
yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, choose a number between 1 to 10, of exception 7 and 8. Then I will read to you the corresponding table topic question.
3.
3. Tell us about a time when you helped someone without being asked. Tell us about a time when you helped someone without being asked.
So it's the summer of 2024. I've just come from an arduous 4-country gallivanting in Europe. I'm in Munich, Germany, and I'm doing the thing most tourists do. Walk around, take photos, smile, and be a dilettante in a European country. This evening, I find myself observing an unusual conversation. A black man, such as myself, has landed with 3 big suitcases in the middle of Munich center. He does not know his whereabouts. He's walking around, trying to find direction. At the time, I did not know what he was looking for. What I saw was a distressed man who did not know where he needed to be, and everyone he asked smiled and walked away. I approached the man, happened to be a Ghanaian, and asked him, brother from another mother, where are you going and what help do you need? He just needed to get to the next nearest station for him to be on to his next destination. I approached him, a stranger, and asked him, let me help you. I helped him drag his suitcase, took him to the train station, which was just a stone throw away. And he was most grateful. That season and that particular incident taught me always be at hand to help the stranger who may need your help, but may not fully know it. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Eric. That was an excellent example of leadership in action. I will now return the session to Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Antony, for the beautiful table topics that were within our theme. I would now like to ask the timer if we have time for a health break. And then I'd like to call on the SAA to please launch the polls for the better table topics.
Madam Toastmaster of the Day, we are exactly on time. According to the agenda, we should have been done with table topics at 8:04. So we are now supposed to be moving on to the triple tied evaluations at 8:05. I don't know what's the EXCO advice.
We can
President,
proceed with the evaluations.
Karanja, shall we go on or do we take a break?
Let's proceed with the evaluations.
Okay, may I call Tigist to start the evaluations for the first speaker. Toastmaster Tigist, please take the virtual stage.
All right. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening. Toastmaster Serah, I loved your speech. And there are three things that stood out for me that you did exceptionally well. The first one is your choice of theme. Wisdom for mothers is a highly relatable and emotionally resonant theme for all of us. It's a subject we can all relate with, either through being mothers and having direct experience or having experienced motherhood through our biological or adopted mother. So well done on that. The second one is with your clear narration and progress in communicating your plan. You vividly narrated your journey from benefiting from a church program to stepping up to serve, I believe it was 11 women through the same journey to mentor them. And that helped us understand your vision and plan. And by doing that, you have fulfilled your main project purpose. The third one is your visible enthusiasm. This wasn't just a project. Your enthusiasm for it was very palpable, so that was great. And you also made us anticipate your progress and stay tuned to hear more. I noted two things that could have taken your speech from great to exceptional. The first one is because, like I said, motherhood is such a relatable topic. Your speech could have been stronger if you had shared with us, a bit of details on your transformation. How has the program helped you to be a better mother yourself? And in the same vein, while you have communicated your plan and vision very clearly with us, I missed clear 1, 2, 3 impacts that you hope to have with this women. All in all, I loved your speech. Great choice of topic, very strong anecdotal story of narrating your journey, and with 1 or 2 real life stories from yourself of transformation, and also a clear communication of the impact you're hoping to have through the membership. Your speech could have had better impact. Otherwise, congratulations, and I look forward to see you on your next project. Thank you. I now invite Toastmaster Leah, who will be delivering the delivery evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tigist. Wisdom for mothers. Serah, you galvanized your audience with the following aspects. To start us off is your opening. We were very curious to understand what has happened 5 years ago. And this took us to be more interested in your topic. So in terms of your physical presence, you are very calm. You understood the topic, and also you understood what you are going to deliver to us. For instance, you are able to receive the challenge of signing these 11 women into the membership committee, and you are very calm as you took on the assignment. The second thing which I liked in your speech is on the calmness of your language. You are very clear. You incorporated here and then pauses. And what does this make your speech like? We were able to follow through different stages of your speech, how you took on the assignment and how you were able to create a clear vision. Your message was able to land beautiful to us. Another thing which I liked in your speech is the choice of the topic that you have selected. It shows that you are very enthusiastic about it, with the way that you are using your gestures to show us how you took the assignment very positively. Again, to elevate this already a nice speech to become even better, I have a few recommendations for you. I felt that there were opportunities for you to lean on in your vocal variety even more. For instance, you could have expressed more audible elation when speaking about seeing familiar faces in your committee, your mentor, your mother. Imagine, this could have elevated your speech even better. That way, the audience could have been able to relate with you. The second aspect which you could improve, I noticed that. Can you see my hands? Your hands were somehow hidden and were emerging halfway through. So I felt like if you had positioned your camera very well, we would have been able to see your hands clearly, and therefore your message would have landed even more stronger. To challenge yourself, considering that this was a plan and a vision which will take you to phase 2 of your project, you may consider using props. There was a perfect opportunity for you to at least hold a book or a guidance document to visually present your journey as you organized this committee. Overall, you had a good physical presence, you were poised, you were calm, you had a powerful voice. Consider using props and you level to your future speeches. I now would like to invite the language evaluator, Fatma Amiyo. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Serah will evaluate the speech based on 2 parameters. The first is appropriateness of the language, and the second is correctness of the language. Well done. I felt that you used very simple language. It was very easy to follow. It was quite conversational. From time to time, I could hear embellishment of the language which galvanized the message that you're sharing, from cohort to related to silver lining, closed mouth, don't get fed, popped a hand up. So well done. I felt that you used the language quite well. In terms of correctness, you did your best at choice of words. I felt that you held a little bit back, noting that you are quite an outgoing person. Consider taking us right into the moment so that we are able to be with you. All in all, the pronunciation was good. The grammar was well taken care of. Just one part where you talked about tears here and there, I felt that now you had moved a little bit in terms of the correctness of language. I felt that it was a bit of direct translation, but all in all, quite conversational, embellishment of the words, the idioms that you used. Well done. I'd like to return it back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fatma. We're now going to the 3-tier evaluation for Toastmaster Gilbert, and I'd like to call on to his evaluators to take up the stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of Gilbert's project was for him to apply his leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guiding committee, and implement the plan with the help of the team, which he gave us an analysis of how the planning went and how the mission was accomplished according to the title of his speech. On my content delivery, I was looking at the audience response, that is the attentiveness, the interest, the excitement he would elicit, and reception of humor, if there was any. There was the speech development, which is the structure of the speech, the organization, and any supporting materials he would use. And on the speech value, which is the ideas, are they logical, are they original? On that, the audience response and the attentiveness was plausible. I could see Eric holding his chin like this, leaning in to hear what Gilbert has to say. He elucidated our interest in knowing what would be that next lesson when he was giving us the call to action. On the speech development, your structure, Gilbert, was good. The opening was there. You started with a punchline, asking us, how many of you have ever planned an event and actually hoped that things will go to plan? Which now caught our attention in starting to think, which is this plan that I have had? that I hoped would go well. On the body, you told us how the meetings were set, including the timings, the challenges, and how you overcame the challenges. On the call to action, you gave us 3 lessons, which are easy to understand and easy to follow and easy to remember, which was inspect what to expect, plan for the best, but expect the worst, and always having a plan B. This is what helped you to have a successful meeting. On the organization, the speech was seamless and transitioned from one point to another. And your speech value, your ideas were logical and they were original. What I would like to challenge you on the next speech, as this is a high performance level project, to get the attention of all the learners who are visual, I would have loved to see your presentation on a PPT or anything that would present a visual aspect of it to catch my attention. I am a visual learner. For audience engagement, you asked a question. And with this, probably, you would need to acknowledge those who have either raised their hands, or if there's any question you have asked, you can then check on the chat. Overall, thank you for your speech on Mission Accomplished, and I wish you all the best in the next project. Over to you, Robert.
Thank you very much, DTM Maina. It was a great pleasure for me to listen and evaluate Gilbert's speech this evening. And so I'll go right into my evaluation of your speech. I was looking at your physical, your voice, and your platform style. First of all, talking about your physical appearance, I loved that there was a little distraction in terms of your stage movement. You are in complete control of your body and your hands, and I think that demonstrated the confidence that you have as a speaker. In addition to that, I thought the placement of your hands was excellent, and also the scale of your gestures. I found that they were full, and actually what that demonstrated to me that you were comfortable on stage. And finally, while talking about your physical presence, it was the fact that you looked directly at the camera. It speaks to the placement of your camera, and also it speaks to how you are able to connect with the members of the audience through an online platform. So I thought that was actually pretty well done. Areas of improvement, I felt that in some certain places in your speech, your facial expressions could have matched the tone of what you are speaking about, and specifically talking about the excitement that you might have felt as everything was falling into place in your plan. I felt that your face could have reflected that excitement that a person feels when things are going according to the way they had planned. In addition to that, also your voice, you could consider using it for transitions. And let me give an example. So, for example, when you are getting into talking about the hiccups that you experienced, maybe a slightly longer pause before you go into those hiccups to demonstrate that you're going to a different section. Also, if the beginning of a section starts off with a question, a vocal variety technique you might consider using is raising your voice. So what lessons did I learn from this? So slightly raising your voice might signal that you're going to a different segment of your speech. In conclusion, I thought the pace that you had in your speech was easy to follow because of the amount of information that you had. But in addition to that, you actually varied that pace in some places so that it did not become monotonous to me. So just to wrap up, I thought that little distractions in your stage movement, excellent placement of your hands, looking directly at the camera, great audience connection, equally improved by those transitions, using your voice for transitions, and also demonstrating excitement on your face. Great job on the pace of your delivery. Over to you, Fatma, for the language evaluation.
Thank you very much, Gilbert. We will look at the speech based on 2 parameters, the appropriateness and correctness. Well done. As you delivered your speech, it was quite clear. You took us through very easy words that we were able to understand, to pick the dilemma that you are in. You galvanized the speech by ensuring that you were repeating certain things so that we could understand the position that you are in. as fate would have it, was repeated a couple of times for us to really pick the situation that you're in. In terms of the correctness, there was proper pronunciation of words. You selected the words carefully to fit the speech delivery. You also used beautiful language. Some of the lessons that you learned, inspect what you expect. Very memorable, well-crafted, and I'm sure those are the key lessons that we pick when we are planning an event. I felt you overused some phrases, some words, and it felt a bit of monotony. Perhaps you could consider a little bit of variation so that then you can infuse the speech and galvanize the speech that you're giving so that we are able to listen keenly. All in all, absolutely great choice of conversational language that we were able to follow without much pressure. The grammar, pronunciation, and word selection was also equally good. I look to your next speech. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fatma. I would now like to ask the SAA to launch the poll for the Better Evaluator. Effective leaders create value and influence people in every direction. By developing relationships, serving others, and taking initiative, individuals can become powerful leaders regardless of their formal position. I'd now like to call onto the timer to please give us her report. I'd like to call on to the General Evaluator to take the virtual stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I would like to call upon the timer to present the report for this evening's meeting. Over to you, timer Leila.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The meeting today was run with very smooth transition, and it is a galvanizing situation to see us using time so well. Our speakers, Serah and Gilbert, were within the allotted time. Serah took 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and Gilbert took 7 minutes and 24 seconds, and he was within the 30-second allowance. As for our table topics, the same thing. June Keriri took 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Brenda Kakai, 1 minute, 40 seconds. Eric Karaoke, 1 minute and 58 seconds. As for the evaluation section, our evaluator Tigist took 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Leah took 2 minutes and 58 seconds. And Fatma Amiyo took 1 minute, 30 seconds. That is in the evaluation of Serah. With regards to the evaluation of Gilbert, Mineh took 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Robert took 2 minutes and 53 seconds. And Fatma took 1 minute and 54 seconds. As for as with regards to our meeting, I think we are also within time. Back to you, our General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Leila, for that succinct report. And now hand it over to our Super Grammarian for your report. Over to you, Toastmaster Fatma.
Thank you very much, our General Evaluator. The word of the day was properly used. Well done. The crown goes to our chat master, Ali Makori, who used it the most. I appreciate all the speakers who attempted their best to ensure that they use the word of the day correctly. Galvanize. In terms of the disfluences, air took the day in terms of most of us used air. Our Toastmaster of the day used a number of airs. I believe there were around 3. Our timer, Leila, used 1 air. Tigist had 3 airs. Serah Wanjiku had 2 air. Mineh had 1 air. Robert had 3 airs. June had an R and elongation of some words like in, the. All in all, I suggest we can pause a bit before elongating or using these fluences. In terms of excellent use of language, we had a number of beautiful words today. I don't know whether you had cohorts, elated, silver lining, close marks don't get fed, popped a hand up. We had linger, we had beautiful lessons, inspect what you expect. We had gallivanting, stone thrown away, beard hand. I believe we did an amazing job at the use of language. There were a few instances where there was improper use of language. For example, when you want to pick someone, instead of saying, let me do, you can say, let me choose, because you're not doing, but choosing someone. There was also use of venue and place, since both refer to the same thing, that was a repetition. There was eventuality. I believe the proper one would be an eventuality based on the use and the context that it was in. Tears here and there felt like really direct translation. Time comes to tell, time would tell, would have been a better way of expressing that. All in all, I'd like to congratulate all the speakers. You did an amazing job. Let us galvanize our speech, because great leaders speak well. I'd like to return it back to our general evaluator.
Thank you, our super grammarian, for that detailed report. Now I'll deliver my report as the general evaluator. My task started before the meeting started. That was during the preparation phase of this meeting. I noted that all the meeting roles were filled up in good time, well in advance. Kudos to the Vice President of Education for that. And even when we had a last-minute cancellation for one of the role takers, he made sure that we had someone to replace them as well in time, and informed the Toastmaster of the day, updated also the agenda. That was well done. One thing that maybe I can recommend in the group is we have a bit more of engagement. I noted the VPE is the one who was doing most of the chatting, encouraging us to look at the resources. The TMOD also told us about the question she had shared with us. Maybe the audience or the role takers can also do a bit of engagement. One example is to perhaps practice the word of the day or a phrase of the week, just to make the group a bit lively. But overall, that was a well prepared or planned phase of the meeting. Before the meeting, I noted that we were requested to join early from 6:30 to test the mics, and also 6:45 to participate in the game. First, previously I had not seen the game section of the pre-meeting, and that was a good touch for someone who loves game, and as a way of breaking the ice with the audience, that was a good thing to introduce. I'm a first timer in this, that's why I'm saying introduce. But that was very well done, and it was done on time. We even had a session that the guests and the visiting Toastmasters had time to introduce themselves. That was well done. For the business part of the meeting started on time, and the presiding officer welcomed all the members and attendees who were in the meeting. I liked one thing that the presiding officer did when he was introducing the members of Watabaruku and other visiting Toastmasters. He asked the question about legacy, which for those who answered, it was a good way of speaking on the spot as a way of doing table topics. But also for us who didn't speak, it was a food for thought. It's something that you carry on with you and wonder what you can answer or what you can leave behind as your legacy. That was well done. The introduction of the Toastmaster of the day was done well by the presiding officer, and the Toastmaster of the day took the meeting up by introducing the theme of the meeting, the 360 leadership theme. She encouraged us to read the book where she got the inspired from, the book by John C. Maxwell. That is well done for those people who love reading, and for us as Toastmasters, books about leadership are we are encouraged to read them because they come with a lot of resources and applicability in our journey. You introduced the theme well, you introduced the role takers well as well, noting the responses that they had shared, and you had seamless transitions between sessions. Well done, Toastmaster of the day. We had our chat master, Toastmaster Makori, who kept the chat box active. Very well done. I would encourage that us as members to also do a bit of engagement with the chat master. I apologize for being lonely in the chat box, Toastmaster Makori, but we would do more than that as audience. There was a bit of engagement, an emoji here, a response there, but we can do more than that. In terms of the audience attendance, the meeting at one point had 36 attendees, which says a lot about Watabaruku with good attendance. However, we had very few people who had their videos on. We were encouraged at the beginning to have our videos on to present or to give the speakers some bit of audience. I would encourage our audience or us as audience to not shy away from being on camera and give our speakers a bit of face gestures, smiles to look at. Our prepared speeches were delivered they were well delivered. I lack the word that I wanted to use, and I don't want to misspell the one I was about to use. They were well delivered, both speakers were well prepared, and I noted both of them had something they mentioned about the skill they've learned in Toastmasters, which galvanized us in applying our skills that we learn in Toastmasters outside in the outside world. For the table topics speaker or table topics master, you ran the session seamlessly. I loved how you introduced the session, telling us or even the audience members what they are required to do, speaking for how long and what the session is all about. I particularly loved your the randomization method of the speaker selecting the numbers. That was a nice and interesting way of making it a random session. The speakers who are called upon, congratulations for delivering marvelous and awesome speeches. You are well prepared for that. Our evaluation, as it has been all the times I've attended the Watabaruku meetings, they're always rich, and today was no exemption. They were well packaged, and the feedback that was given by our evaluators was applicable for both the speakers and also us as audience. Is something that we can carry with us as we do our speeches and projects in Toastmasters. Very well done to all our evaluators. One thing I also noted is our Sergeant at Arms, who I think is the one who's running that part of evaluation, by spotlighting the key role takers, the speaker, the evaluator, and the timer in particular. It was good for us as audience to focus on who's speaking, and also for the speakers who are able to see the timer to know that they are speaking on time. That was well done. Kudos to you, Sergeant at Arms. Role takers, timer, and grammarian, you've done a marvelous job this evening. The timer was very keen, and your report shows how keen you are on your timekeeping. The grammarian, your attention to detail, to the speeches, and everything that was done today, even in the chat box, is well noted and well done. And you had a very detailed speech, detailed report, and shared tips on how we can reduce our crutch feelings. That was a good job. Overall, the meeting has been amazing. It has been run within time, and I cannot wait to come back and just borrow from this rich group of people. And the information that you share here is always just something interesting to carry home. I hand over back the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, our General Evaluator, Jacinta. We also thank the timer and the super grammarian, Fatma and Leah, for their insights that they have provided. Thank you very much. 360-degree evaluation is part of the Toastmaster resource. We will encounter this when we reach to level 5 or when we become district leaders. I got the reference of this book from a Toastmaster magazine, and I thought that I should share it with fellow Toastmasters. Being a 360-degree leader, we add value to Toastmasters at the level of our leadership position. Remember, real leadership is about influence and the impact we leave behind. All Toastmasters clubs become stronger when we, the members, lead from wherever we are. Therefore, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. I'd like to return it to our president, DTM Karanja.
Thank you so much, DTM Nellie Ayodo. Definitely, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Influence and impact. Thank you so much, DTM Nellie. Please show your appreciation for our Toastmaster of the day using your emojis. Thank you so much for educating us. Thank you so much for helping us have an enjoyable time this evening. Thank you so much for coming to Watabaruku Toastmasters Club and taking up this role. Thank you so much to also the other role takers, everybody else who's joining us from a different club, and also for our members for making this meeting possible. We really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Before we conclude this meeting, I would like to announce the results of the polls. Please give me some drum rolls. The best table topic speaker this evening was Brenda Kakai. Thank you so much, Brenda. Congratulations on that. The best evaluator this evening, drum rolls. Those are tie, Leah, Minja, and DTM Mineh, Maina. Congratulations to the both of you. And finally, the best speaker for our meeting, drum rolls. Congratulations, Serah Wanjiku. Good job to everyone who took part in this meeting. And calling up, if you'd like to join Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club, please reach out to our Vice President membership, Gilbert Rutebemberwa, or just leave your contacts in the chat and we'll reach out to you. In addition to that, I would like to if you'd like to take up a role for future meetings, reach out to our VPE, Dr. Kevin Rubia, and over to you, Dr. Kevin Rubia, if you'd like to fill any roles for our next meeting.
Our last meeting of this Toastmasters year has all roles completely full. You can still reach out to me should you want to take up a backup role. Back to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Kevin Rubia, for filling those roles. Please reach out to him if you'd like to take roles in future meetings. I would like to give an opportunity to some of our guests to please tell us what you thought of our meeting. Did you have an amazing time? If you are joining us for the first time, if you've joined us for more than one time, please tell us, how did you find our meetings? Was it enjoyable? We would really, really love to hear your feedback.
Robert,
Yes,
can
June?
I say something?
Yes, please.
I am so happy where Watabaruku has how they progressed. I was one of the club mentors and sponsors for Watabaruku to be where they are. I actually chartered Watabaruku, so I'm so happy where you guys have gotten to. And tonight, I have no idea how I joined tonight, but I think it may have been some magic that I joined tonight. And I'm glad for Dr. Kevin, Ali Bakori, and yourself that I chartered this club, and I'm so happy where you guys are. Back to you.
Thank you so much, June. Absolutely. We really appreciate the sponsors, the mentors, the founding members of Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club that gave us this platform for us to develop ourselves. It was an amazing year for Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club with amazing members, amazing club executive committee members, and we really appreciate each and every one of them. Thank you so much, June, for joining us this evening. Anybody else would like to speak? Tell us what you thought of our meeting this evening before we bring it to a close.
I can speak.
Yes, Catherine.
I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My name is Catherine Mata from Business Dialogues. This is my second time at Watabaruku. And what captured my attention was the topic of the day, TMOD, well-executed topic. I love the topic of the day. And what always gets me about Watabaruku is your evaluation. I think the way it's done and the multiple evaluators gives feedback to the speakers. So glad to be here a second time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine Mate from Business Dialogues. Thank you so much for that feedback. Absolutely. The Toastmaster of the Day beautifully executed the theme of the day. Thank you so much for encouraging us along our paths of self-development. I'll take one final comment. I had seen someone on mute, but I didn't catch the name. Yes, Christine.
Good evening.
Good evening.
When I started at the beginning when I introduced myself, and I said that I'm a baby Toastmaster, and I was afraid to come into this space to see what exactly these advanced Toastmasters people do. One, it is true that I'm really a baby Toastmaster because the things that I've seen today and how I've seen people present, the phrase that I can use to summarize it is that it was intoxicatingly galvanizing for me. I think I have this desire now to even do better, to progress in my pathways and in my steps so that I can also be part of such groups and be part of such a great group. So thank you so much for having a meeting that is open so that those of us who are learning can also come and witness the great things that you people are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine, for being part of this meeting, for being with us this evening. We are so grateful that you got some inspirations from our meeting. We wish you all the best on your journey as a Toastmaster. And maybe the incoming EXCO can think of taking up this as the tagline for Watabaruku Advanced Toastmasters Club. Intoxicatingly galvanizing. I think that should be the theme of 2026-2027. Thank you so much to all the Toastmasters, the guests, the leaders from other clubs for joining us this evening, for visiting Toastmasters who took up roles for our Toastmaster of the Day once again, for the members of the executive committee. And our next meeting is going to be on the 19th of June, same time, same place. We will be wrapping up the 2025-2026 Toastmasters here, and we'll have our new officers installation. We look forward to seeing you in that meeting. And with that, enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.